Hello, welcome to your science class, and we are here again with part 2 of chapter number 2, that is components of food. We have already discussed about what are these components in the last part and what are nutrients and what are the different nutrients present in our food. We have also discussed the function of each nutrient and what is the requirement of each nutrient in our food is. We are moving on with our chapter, and in this we are studying very first is that food we normally eat is our diet. Of course it is our diet, so now we are going to discuss balanced diet. What is balanced diet? Well, food we eat should have all kinds of nutrients in it. Our diet should have all the nutrients that our body needs in right quantities. The diet should also contain good amount of water and roughage as well. And this kind of diet, which contains all kind of nutrients, water and roughage, is called balanced diet. Why do we eat balanced diet? Because it ensures that all the nutrients that you are getting from the balanced diet are fulfilling the requirement of your body. And balanced diet is not same for everyone, of course. Balanced diet depend upon age, it depends upon gender of a person, it also depends upon lifestyle, how a person is living, and the requirement of the health and the rate at which your body works. Like for example, an athlete would consume more amount of carbohydrates to gain more energy, but an old age person would consume food which can be easily digested. Eating balanced diet is key in maintaining good health and keeping your body in a very good condition. Also, it consists of a wide variety of foods to support your body and keep you energized, motivated and healthy. So in order to be to have a balanced life, in terms of food, one should have balanced diet too. Moving on. Okay, of course we know we cannot eat all the foods raw. We cook obviously before eating any kind of food. Cooking properly is essential. Like eating the right kind of food is just not enough. We need to cook the food properly. Okay, sometimes overcooking of the food burns all the nutrients inside it. So some nutrients get destroyed in the process of cooking and preparation of the food. We eat cooked food because it is soft and tasty, but we should always keep in mind that food should not be overcooked so that it should not lose its nutrients. Now we wash, like if we are cutting the vegetables and fruits, many times we cut and wash fruits and after cutting them, especially vegetables. That should not be done, because when they are washed after cutting, the nutrients on the in the vegetable gets lost with the water that is being thrown away, and which results in loss of some vitamins. Then also, skin of many fruits and vegetables contain vitamins and minerals, so we often leave skin out of a lot of vegetables and a lot of fruits. But we should eat skin of apple, which is healthy, which contain nutrients. We should eat skin of potato sometimes, which is also good. Now, repeated washing of rice and pulses also is going to remove lots of vitamins and minerals present in them. Also, we boil the food a lot of times, and when that food is boiled in a lot of water, excess water, and then what we do, we throw away the excess water. So while boiling, all the nutrients of that particular vegetable are transferred into the water, and then we are throwing that water away and not using it. So that also causes the loss of nutrients into the food. The excess water should not be thrown away in which the vegetables are getting boiled. It works as a vegetable broth and can be used to make curries of lots of vegetables. So it would be used, and it is very good to have that water in which vegetables are boiled. Now also remember this, that vitamin C gets easily destroyed by heat during the cooking. So many a times uh, lemon juice is squeezed at the last of the cooking process, or um, uh, it is just sprinkled or put on the raw vegetables as a dressing. Vitamin C, because vitamin C get easily destroyed during the heat uh, which is coming from the cooking of the food. That's why many a times we tend to put lemon juice at last in the cooked food. So it would be sensible for everyone to include some fruits and raw vegetables in our diet, not to overcook them, and to eat them raw, so in order to get nutrients from the food. Moving on. So what happens when somebody is not getting nutrients in its food properly? So person when is not getting uh, enough food to eat, and if a person is getting enough food to eat but is lacking the nutrient in the food, the person may suffer from the deficiency of that particular nutrient. And when person is suffering from some deficiency, they it leads to deficiency diseases. Deficiency diseases occurs due to the lack of nutrients in food which we take, and which ultimately causes deficiency inside our body of that particular nutrient, one nutrient or two nutrients or more. So when a person is consuming one type of food and is not eating is balanced diet, or person is not able to eat food because they are not getting enough food to eat, that's why they are not able to have nutrients in their food, and which ultimately leads to deficiency diseases. Also deficiency diseases leads to malnutrition. We are very much aware about it, also discussed in the last video, that deficiency diseases leads to malnutrition. Malnutrition can be undernourished and can be overnourished. Malnutrition means when you are not getting the nutrients in right amount, but you are also overeating in order to get all the nutrients. Now when person overeats, nutrient tends to save themselves inside the body. For example, if carbohydrates are not consumed, they are converted into fats and get stored in our body. So excessive intake of food is called overeating, which leads to the condition called obesity. Now what happens in obesity? In this condition, body tends to gain a lot of weight and the person becomes fat. Now it is a medical problem that increase the risk of other diseases also. If somebody is having obesity, he or she is going to have other health problems too, such as obesity leads to diabetes a lot of times, which is very common in a lot of people. It leads to heart diseases, high blood pressure, and certain cancers also. So person should not be undernourished also and overnourished also. One should have always balanced diet. Now what happens when some deficiencies does take place into our body? What happens if some person is suffering from deficiency of carbohydrates? Say he or she is not getting carbohydrates from their diet. So body store extra carbohydrate in our muscles and liver for use when we are not getting enough carbohydrates in our diet. A carbohydrate deficient diet may cause headache, fatigue, weakness, difficulty concentrating, nausea, constipation, bad breath, and ultimately deficiency of carbohydrates is also going to lead to deficiency of vitamin and mineral, because our body is not functioning in the way it should be functioning. It is not energized because carbohydrates provides us energy, and if it is not energized, we will be facing a lot of weakness problems, and with that weakness comes headache, fatigue, nauseatic, difficulty concentrating on the work you are doing continuously. So these are all the symptoms of deficiency of carbohydrates. What happens if somebody is suffering from deficiency of proteins? Now growing children need more proteins, as already discussed. Protein requirement for everybody is very different. In children it is required more. So lack of protein in diet weakens our muscles. Also, it is more harmful to children. When somebody is not getting proteins in children, it leads to disease called kwashiorkor. Now, kwashiorkor, as you can see in the image, uh, symptoms are that a child has a bolted belly which looks round and bolted, and it has some patches on the skin, but legs are very thin as compared to the bolted stomach. The legs are very thin, and this condition is known as kwashiorkor. Now, if somebody is suffering from the deficiency of proteins with deficiency of carbohydrates also, now protein along with carbohydrates, now this uh, child is not getting proteins as well as carbohydrate deficiency, so it leads to the condition called protein energy malnutrition, that is PEM, which leads to marasmus. Now these are more common in children of rural areas. Now you can see in marasmus the children body gets very thin, as you can see in the image. Also, the children have some skin problems. They get silvery hair, the hair color changes, and because of the lack of proteins and carbohydrates in the body. Moving on, what happens when somebody is suffering from the deficiency of water? When somebody is suffering from the deficiency of water, he or she is likely to suffer from dehydration. Water is essential for the functioning of our body. Excess loss of water from the body leads to condition called dehydration. Now what happens in dehydration? Dehydration causes the loss of salts and leads to weakness in our body. Oral rehydration solution is given to the people. ORS can be given to the patient to recover from dehydration. What actually happens in dehydration, that we feel a lot of thirst, and then dry mouth, then we have dry skin, headaches, rapid heart rate, and people tend to have less frequent urination also. Now oral rehydration solution, that is ORS, can solve this problem, but person should, like an average adult, should eat 3 liters of water every single day, so to not the face of problem of dehydration. That is 3 liters of water to keep you going throughout the day, but we are also getting water from different food items we eat, of course. So it is a very essential for proper functioning. That's why one should not be neglecting the fact that she should have a good amount of water in a day, so to avoid the problem of dehydration. Deficiency of vitamins, also we have studied that vitamins are very important nutrient, and they are required in very small amount but are very essential. Lack of any of the vitamin will lead to the diseases listed here in the list. Like if somebody is lack vitamin A, it is likely to cause night blindness. That means they will not be able to see in the dark. Vitamin B1 causes beriberi. That means somebody can have nervousness, paralysis, and weak muscles. Then vitamin 3 causes pellagra. Now they can have dementia, diarrhea, and dermatitis. Vitamin B5, lack of deficiency of vitamin B5 can cause skin disorder. Now cracks around the mouth and nervous breakdown, it leads to those. Vitamin B12 leads to anemia, muscles and nerve paralysis. Extreme fatigue means extreme tiredness, dementia, and depression. Vitamin C, lack of vitamin C causes scurvy, bleeding gums, swelling of joints. Lack of vitamin D causes rickets, which leads to weak bones and decaying teeth. Teeth falls down. So lack of various vitamins, deficiency of various vitamins in our food leads to these various diseases. Also, we know that minerals are required in our body in small amount, but they are as essential as any other nutrient in our body. When there is a deficiency of particular mineral, which leads to particular disease. Now if somebody is lacking iron, they are going to have anemia. Then in anemia, there is weakness in our body. The person is always tired. They can lose weight, pale skin, and loss of appetite. That means they are not feeling as hungry as they should feel according to their age, weight, and height. when somebody has a deficiency of iodine, which leads to goiter, which happens here, abnormal enlargement of thyroid gland, retarded growth, and mental disability too. Iodine is present in salt, so we take salt in almost all the salty things. Calcium, another nutrient which is present in the food, deficiency of which is going to lead to bone and teeth decay. That means person is going to have weak bones. Somebody, in order to have strong bones, have to have calcium in their food. We get calcium from milk. Phosphorus, lack of phosphorus or deficiency of phosphorus mineral leads to rickets in children, weakening of bones, poor development, mental retardation, retarded growth are the symptoms of this deficiency. Then deficiency of sodium and potassium leads to body and muscle weakness, also paralysis. So person may feel muscle weakness all the time and as well as tiredness. Lack of or deficiency of fluorine leads to dental crisis. Pain in teeth, sensitivity to hot and cold food drinks. Often people feel sensitive teeth. They have sensitive teeth. Then when they consume something hot, cold, or on the normal temperature also, they are to feel a lot of sensation into their mouth. That means they are facing the problem of fluorine, and they frequently have pain in their teeth. So these deficiencies can be overcome. Like, these are not permanent if somebody consumes the right amount of diet. Though if say person is suffering from deficiency, he or she can make their life better by eating right amount of food and right food with the right source of nutrient, and then they can overcome this deficiency. So deficiencies are not permanent. They can be overcome by eating the right food which is required to overcome that deficiency. I hope you have understood the chapter well. Here ends our chapter number 2, components of food. Do read the chapter from the book, and please contact us if you have any doubt in the chapter.